Hey everyone, so once again, I'd like to show you guys something that's, although I didn't buy from Japan, I did buy a thing from Japan, another Super Sentai thing. This is the Gear to Linger. This is the blaster from Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger, the series that came right before Dawn Brothers. Now, you've already seen like a couple times on my channel, I've shown off this and how the gears work, but then I told you that there are two different types of gears, the Zenkai gears and the Avataro gears. Now, these were made for Dawn Brothers, while these ones were made for Zenkaiger. Now, this is Don Momotaro, the leader of Dawn Brothers. This is what this was made for, and this is Zenkaiser, what Zenkaiger was made for. This was made for this. Now you've already, just look at my other videos to see how this one works, but this is how this one works. So I'm going to turn this guy on. See, but unlike this one, you don't put it in there. You put it in the top of it, and you do it by lifting this lever, this hatch. Now you've seen what this does in here, and now you're going to see what this does in here. And then you turn it by twisting this this crank. Then yeah, see, now it does that. And as I told you before, the Avataro gears were basically updated versions of the Zenkai gears. So, such as they had, Dawn Brothers had this, but before Dawn Brothers had that, they had Zenkaiger, these guys, had this. And as I told you before, they make the exact same sound if you use the same type of gear that's based off of. So this one's the same Ranger as that, and if you can't really tell, but the gears and notches match up just like that. Well, just like how the old one can be used in the new one, vice versa can be said for this. So, for instance, this one will react to this. This is what it was made for. Yonju burn. Juoger. And then if you put the newer one, the one that this one was made for, in this one, So like I said, the same thing with that Dawn Blaster, the same thing can be said for the Zenkai, the Gear to Linger, where if you have older versions of the gears, the Zenkai gear or the Avataro gear of the same one, it'll work the same way in there. But that doesn't mean it'll work for all of them. Now, obviously, because Dawn Brothers was the newer series, they obviously made newer gears specific for that series. So ones like this one, or even the ones that's for Dawn Brothers, like say, for instance, this is the main character's gear. Oh, that's a double. This is how the main character transforms in Dawn Brothers. Yeah, see, now it'll work there because it was made for that, but even though these are gears that work just the same as these, and they were made with notches just as these, unlike when I showed you that the older ones will work for the newer ones and vice versa with that, that's not to say that the ones made for the specific series will work. So, for instance, this is from the series that came right after this one, and if you put it in here, yeah, you can basically do that forever and it'll never read it. It'll never give it a sound. Not even a default sound. Because for it, this gear doesn't exist for that time. But they did, however, when they were making these series and making the newer gears for the old ones, they did, however, give this one an updated look too. So, for instance, see that? Which means that this one, like the old ones, will work too. So yeah, that's pretty cool that the old ones will work for the new ones and vice versa. And what's also really cool is, unlike how this one works, if you put the gear in on either side, because unlike the old ones, like the old ones, they just come with just one side. So this one just has the picture. This one has the actual gears that it reads. This one has two sets of gears that it reads, depending on if you put it frontwards or backwards. Same with the other ones, like this one I showed before, Q Ranger. This has a double side, odd side. So for instance, let's take this is the secondary Ranger, Juran. He's based off of Mighty Morphin. We change into him. See, they identifies him as Juran, but unlike this one, if you were to just put it in this one, it would just read it as it is. But since this one is the older one, it was built with another purpose in mind. You can read the other side of it. Now this is when he puts it on the opposite end, this is how the Rangers in the show of Zenkaiger turn into the robots. So Juran the Red Ranger would do this to turn into the giant robot that he is. So, and that's the same for all of them there. And but what's also interesting is, even though they're in the same series, the series did recognize that they made the toys earlier on so it could work in the show. So, which means they didn't have access to like everything they were going to do or show. Which means that the Sixth Ranger, he didn't come until a little later in the show, so they didn't really have him in mind, like, or explicitly when they were making this toy. So when they came out with the Sixth Ranger's gear, this is the Sixth Ranger's gear for Zenkaiger. So when you put his gear in here, it works, but New Hero, and it'll do the same thing for Dawn Brothers. This is Dawn Brothers' Sixth Ranger, Doragoku. This is the Ranger that controls Don Toradora, as you see up there. And yeah, just like how this one was made, like Zenkaiger's, the Sixth Ranger didn't come until a little later. So when they were making this toy, they only made one specific line in mind for his toy, for his gear. New Hero. Yep, New Hero, Shinsen Senshi. But I digress. So like I said, there's a different gears for the different ones. And you have to really read the show to know which ones are specifically made for this series and which ones are specifically made for this series. But like I said, because these ones are like the older versions of these ones, more often than not, these gears will work for this one. But like, again, not the newer ones, not all the newer ones anyways. But what is cool, however, is that now, like me, if you have two of the different same kinds of gears, like this one and this one, or this one and this one that are the same character, but like, you know, the newer and older gears, that means you can do something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. Play the newer one and the newer one and the older one and the older one at the same time. Because like I showed you before, with Dawn Brothers, when it shows specific Rangers in the gears, it doesn't just make a blaster sound. Oh, sorry, I gotta put it in. So yeah, try to time this right. So they just did the same thing again, and like I said, like if I switched them out, they would do the exact same thing, but I'm not gonna go through all that again. So yeah, I've just been kind of messing around, screwing around with all the gears, seeing which one will work in which, and whether there's like still so many more. Like Japan made so many more for these guys and these guys, and I only had enough time to go into Japan to pick up these ones. So like yeah, like next time I go to Japan, or if I find even better deals on eBay, which probably not lately, but still, like there's still like so many more gears out there that these can work with, and there's even a super gear that works with this one that I still haven't gotten yet. But like yeah, like I said, expensive. So for now, yeah, it's my so far Zenkaiger Avataro gear section, and yes, it's the same collect. Like the Avataro gears are the same collection that comes from Don Toradora for Rascal and Mama Entertainment. Just to know. All right, see ya.